As you get closer and closer to actually eradicating a disease, the harder it is to find the remaining cases. Finding the very last cases is much more work than identifying the bulk of cases in a massive outbreak. Thanks to a successful vaccination program, the United States has been polio-free since 1979. But as the virus was eliminated in different countries and regions, the team shifted their focus to finding the very last cases of polio. This was challenging. The Global Polio Eradication Initiative needed a new approach to detect and find the virus. The closer they got, the closer they had to look. The closer they looked, the more they saw. The more they saw, the more they needed to improve. I am speaking to Dr. Manish Patel, who leads the Influenza Prevention and Control Team at CDC. Dr. Patel is an epidemiologist who has also worked on control and prevention of viral gastroenteritis and chemical exposures. He has also worked to introduce safe and effective rotavirus vaccines around the world. He was seconded to the Task Force for Global Health to support the Global Polio Eradication Initiative. Hello, Dr. Patel. Tell us a bit about the history of polio.
Well, I think most people know that polio causes pretty devastating paralysis for the person, often can be life-threatening. However, I think most people now, doctors, nurses, definitely parents, do not see cases of polio and never will in their lifetime. So what we have to remember is that it was really a devastating disease just over 50, 60, 70 years ago. So devastating that it would cause massive anxiety for families, parents, communities, where it would shut down communities. Each summer, for example, in the US, movie theaters would shut down, communities would shut down, pools would shut down, parents would not allow birthday parties. And so these are pretty tremendous consequences for society. It was like the COVID shutdown every summer over and over again. The good news is, as soon as vaccine was introduced, within a matter of years, you saw those cases decrease, and it really freed open the society and alleviated a lot of these anxieties. As polio cases diminished because of these tremendous eradication efforts, it really became tough to find the final cases of polio. And you have to find every single last case. The problem with polio paralysis is, for every case of paralysis, you have hundreds of cases of infection in the community. So by the time you found that case of polio, the virus had already seeded across the country and oftentimes spread outside.
The virus remained hidden. How did you change how you looked for it?
There were some pretty smart virologists, epidemiologists, collaborated and found ways to look for those silent cases of infection, right? And how do you do that? How do you look for something you can't see? And what they did was they applied novel technology by sampling wastewater, sewage, and looking for polio in the environment. So what they learned from that was that if you did this environmental sampling in parallel with looking for cases of polio, you could really get ahead of the virus and vaccinate before the epidemic got really big.
Thank you so much, Dr. Patel. Measurement and evaluation are never easy, but always necessary for success. The irony is, the more successful you are, like the closer you are to eradication of a disease, the harder you have to look to find the remaining cases. Eradicating a disease means you have to hunt down the very last case, contain it, and make sure there is zero spread.